behavioral model call. I'll go ahead and turn off my camera. And for the new people joining the call, I'll just let you know that once we're done here, I post these calls on the YouTube channel. And so there's weekly notes that go out, and I'll make sure you get a copy. And in those notes, there's a link to the YouTube channel where you can rewatch or look at the summary of notes. And then you can go back through if you need to, or share them with someone else maybe on your team that needs to review, or the content or something like that, if that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And while I'm sharing my screen, Andy put a comment in the chat window for Chris, if you saw it. Didn't see it, Chris?
Yeah, I'm answering.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Cool. So can everyone on the call see my screen? Can I get a yes or a no?
Yes, I see your screen.
Yes. Okay, great. Thanks. So last week we covered the possibility of going over Service Tunnel Private Link this week, and we talked about Andy's work in process as a volunteer project here, and then we had a couple of PRs requesting updates. So maybe we could start with maybe Andy first, if you'd like, Andy.
Sure. Just
quick.
Yeah, quick is
I don't want it to be quick. I just don't want to put pressure on you. So
no. I don't want to belabor the blow by blow of a few hours of work. Yeah. I mean, I've only spent on the order of 4 to 6 hours on it since last week. So, but some nominal progress towards the goal of being able to compile the -P4 code checked in on the DPDK software switch and load it into the DPDK software switch and pass packets through it. I just weirdly enough, I was able to compile the code a couple weeks ago when I made a commit then, but for some reason on my current system, it's giving a compiler bug when I try it. So that's the snag I'm on at the moment, but I think I have everything ready except when I get past that snag, I don't know of any other snags to giving Chris Summers a complete list of steps for compiling and loading the code into a DPDK software switch running in a Docker container.
Great, thank you. So, yeah, so that's what Andy's kind of working on in his time with us, spare time with us, and thanks for doing that. And yeah, let us know what happens. And maybe.
And I guess part of the reason I was willing to spend this hobby time on this is, well, partly this, but partially just I also published instructions on running other the BMV2 software switch, and I never had instructions that worked for DPDK, and so I wanted to have similar instructions for those for anybody that wanted to try it out, not just Dash.
Yeah. And I take extensive notes just in case the new people don't know on the call. So, okay. And so maybe Prince, could we talk about the PRs requesting updates here maybe? I'll take a look at 336.
Yes. Okay, so this one, it's two different changes that's combined here, right? One is on the Sonic HLD, which maybe we can talk about, and then there is the behavioral model or the rest of the changes in this PR, right? That's I'm not sure if there are open questions on that, but for Mukesh's question on the scaling, I think I'll have to update the HLD with the scale numbers. That's pending on me, but so in general, right? Let me ask, are we is the forum here clear on the tagging part, or?
So Mukesh, are you on the call? I don't see Mukesh. Anyone else from AMD?
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. I think we wanted to know the scale numbers to just figure out what kind of state we need to maintain on libsci. Yeah.
Yeah, I will update the scale numbers possibly by sometime this week. I don't know, like if it is a separate PR or I'll ask the submitter to update the scale numbers here. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. A quick comment. Yeah. Okay. And then Marian's not here for this one, so I'm going to.
Yeah. So Marian's PR 246 is based on the my PR on the HLD. So I don't remember my PR number, but so basically this is the behavioral model definition. Oh, this is another one. So I bulk add remove. Okay, maybe this is different. This
was the one that just was waiting for some test cases. It wasn't the highest priority. This was just kind of more nice to have. I don't know if we wanted to accept this PR without test cases, Chris. Is it okay to keep this open or?
I don't know if there's any urgent demand for it in the behavioral model, but if someone says they really want it and they want to do a test case, then we can release it as is. It's just we're trying to test things as we develop them. But this is a very low risk, low blast radius.
Right.
Change.
Okay.
Yeah,
Prince, did you have something? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Waldemar speaking. Yeah, so I can just add that this is the bulk API for the Psi BMV2 Psi, right?
Correct.
This pull request. So looks like even from the testing perspective, so there is no the Psi Swift correct implementation for the calling it from the Psi Swift. So it's not so urgent, but here we can just merge it, I think.
You think we could merge it?
Yeah, I don't think that someone will be using because of the size implementation, but we can merge it anyway. We will need it in the future anyway, I think so.
Another way to test it without correct site-thrift implementation is just to use the C library, the C++ libsci. Like there's one or two unit tests. We could write a unit test for this as well. It's just, just kind of
yes
grunt work. I don't have any strong feeling about it. I mean, if no one really has the time to write tests, we can put it in there. But then, we just don't know what we're going to see in the future. We'll just fix it then, I guess. Not my favorite way to run things, but I'm not going to be pedantic about it.
Wait a minute. No, this one says it's a draft pull request, so it can't be merged. So
I just put it in draft to sort of draw attention to that. It needs to be, needs to have a test case, but
could you pull it out of draft and get it ready to merge? And then I could merge it?
Sure can.
Okay, we can do that later.
Okay,
cool. So, Prince, was there another one you wanted to talk about?
So I think that's the third one, right? The third statement down in your note, dash community call content inbound pipeline. Yeah. So that.
Oh, okay. Great.
So I thought that PR is again like two phases. One is the HLD PR, and the other one is what Marian is planning to discuss it next week. Because that's the behavioral model implementation, behavioral model for my PR. Yeah.
Okay, we can wait to do that then if you want to wait.
So I that's what. So I don't know if the question from the community is on my PR or Marian's PR.
Okay. So Reshma had a comment in the last behavioral model meeting. Reshma, it was about inbound. Okay, maybe I'll just let you ask the question.
So the inbound part of the STPL was not discussed in the main community, not related to the BMV2 implementation. The pipeline itself, the discussion that we had about the outbound, about the STPL, as only the outbound was covered, right?
No, I think Reshma, okay, let's take that PR. Yeah, Krishna.
Yeah.
Related to metering. It's related to metering.
No. Metering is closed. There's no metering. So metering is a different PR. Yeah. No. Sorry. It is on the PR, Christina, not the document.
Okay.
So there is this PL on NSG and inbound flows, right? So the fourth PR. So that one we discussed in the community, and the community wanted some clarification on how the inbound flow work, and that's what is covered in this PR, right? So there is no. Okay, so if you look at the files changed and
sorry, I was taking notes. I was taking notes while I was doing this. Yeah. So files changed. This piece here.
Yeah.
Oh my
so okay, wait. Little. Yeah. So here, like, if we go scroll down.
Yeah. Which section? The metering.
No. Next one. I think it's the. Yeah, outbound flow. Yeah, this one 2.3. So
thanks. Okay.
So there are two things to here, right? So basically, the last statement here clarifies one of the question in the community, that how the inbound policy lookup happens for STPL scenario, which is clarified in the document, that there is no inbound policy based lookup for the STPL. So it's always on the outbound direction, right? So that's what is one clarification. On STPL inbound flow, right? The next one.
Okay, so only on outbound is sufficient, and inbound uses the regular inbound flow. No change.
Inbound, we don't expect the service tunnel private link scenarios to land on the appliance to start with, for based on this definition, right? In later, when we want to do destination based STPL, we'll come back and update it. But for now, it is only the source based STPL scenario. Okay, so that's one section. Now that that's one part of the inbound flow, but there is also the clarification on how the inbound flow is created based on the outbound unified flow, right? Like the first part of the statement says that using the outbound unified flow, the reverse transposition is created, right? And that is what is covered by this PR in the example section. Like, maybe scroll down.
Yeah. The examples are usually way down here.
Way down, yeah.
Yeah. I just don't know how fast your screens are keeping up with me. I don't want to scroll too fast. So test plan example.
Oh yeah. So next one, VNet to
VNet. Service tunnel.
Service tunnel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Service tunnel. And scroll down a bit again. Yeah. So the section 2 and H.
Okay.
Yeah.
2H here.
Yeah, 2H. Yeah. So earlier it was only until G, so I didn't have the section for H. So this is how the inbound flow will look like for the which is created based on the outbound unified flow.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the exact change here?
So exact change is like I said, right? So if you look into the STPL scenario, you have an outbound flow, right? And based on the outbound flow, you create an inbound unified flow, right? So for the inbound unified flow, the packet will look a little bit like different from the VNet to VNet case, because here you are making some transpositions during the outbound, right? During the outbound flow. So like, think about it, like in the if you look at the table and how the packet is sent on the outbound direction, you modify the source and the destination IP, right? When the appliance send the packet, right? Like 2F, if you see, since underlay SIP and DIP is specified in the LPM table, it shall use the destination IP as 25 and the source IP. Now, like if you look at the the packet, like you already transposition the packet to an IPv6, and then you have an outer header which you modified the source and the destination IP. Now the source IP is no longer the appliance IP, right? So when the destination, when it receives this packet, it sends the packet back to the source IP of the source IP that is specified here. Now this source IP, this 3121, is another device. So that's what is H2 saying, right? Like the return packet for the above flow shall land on SLB mux, right? Because we changed in the outbound flow, we changed the source IP, right? Now when the packet is returned by the destination side or the receiver side, it lands back on the mux on a different device, which is advertising this 3121, and this SLB mux will now have to modify the packet and send it to the appliance for us to receive this packet back, right? When we say us, I'm talking in the context of appliance, right? So which means there will be a third layer of encapsulation or another layer of encapsulation that the SLB mux will do towards the appliance.
Towards the appliance.
Yeah, towards the appliance. So that's why on H3, appliance shall first decapsulate the outer header and then it can map it to the flow that it created from A to G.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's no easy way to explain this. So
yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Does that help? Oh, go ahead, Prince.
Yeah, I think this is good. This, I thought that, it will be good to explain it to the community in the Wednesday calls, but this is fine too. This is recorded.
Yeah, I think I got this feedback from the Wednesday call, and that's when I updated the PR.
Right.
I remember.
I see.
I think I remember getting few feedbacks on. So if you go like maybe Krishna, if you go back to that PR, there are all these are addressed based on the community feedback. The difference, if you look right, I remember one was also from Gerald.
Right. I'm just trying to remember the PR number. Was it 308? Let me see. Was it?
Yeah. I think if you click back button,
so
it will
all
go back.
The feedback is already incorporated in the PRs.
In this PR, no, there are few more that came in recently, which I have to address, but those are minor.
Okay.
Ones. Yeah. So if we scroll down, sorry.
So down, sure.
Scroll down. Yeah. See, this encapsulation behavior was one other feedback I believe Gerald gave. I think. So scroll up.
Up, sure.
Yeah. This one. So this is the encapsulation behavior. So how the DHCP and the TTL values are modified when the appliance sends the packet out. So these are, I think, pretty self-explanatory.
341, that's what this one is. Okay. Yep. Got it.
But Reshma, feel free to provide any comment if you have something still outstanding.
Okay.
Yeah, let me make a note and I'll put Reshma, I'll send you an email if you want to look at 341.
341, sure. I'll take a look at that.
Okay.
Thanks. And
Sorry,
Vijay was also presenting something earlier, right? That was, I think, related to metering, right? That was what he had covered was outbound pipeline. And we were going to brainstorm internally and come back about the inbound. Is that closed also?
I haven't heard anything. VJ?
Yeah, I think there was the outbound PR is merged now. Inbound, I think we just had to clarify where the policy attachment point is. I think Prince, maybe we should sync up on that and update.
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, but I don't think we see a big chunk of differences for the inbound. It should be pretty straightforward for the inbound. Now that we have the outbound clarified and merged, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a quick mention of what is the change for inbound in the community meeting would be helpful, and then we can point to the PR.
For the metering?
Yes, metering inbound.
Okay, I think yeah, once we have that PR ready, maybe we can just quickly plan for a discussion. Yeah.
That's good.
No, I don't know if next Wednesday, because we
No,
haven't
anytime,
started, right,
yeah,
Vijay?
anytime. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I think it might just be that we just need to make sure that the policy attachment point is the inbound routing table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just need to check on that. Hopefully, it should be as simple as that. So no other points would be required, attachment points in the pipeline.
Yeah. Okay. So if we can find some time this week and early next week, then we can let Christina know if we are ready with the PR. But otherwise, in 1 to 2 weeks, yeah.
Sure.
Great. Thank you, guys. On this topic here, any other questions, or do we want to wrap this up for the week, specific to this inbound or what Prince was explaining?
So I think next week we will. Sorry. So next week we'll discuss the add ST route type that PR from Marianne.
Yeah,
I think it's the 10th PR or something. The number 308. Yeah.
Yeah, 308. Yeah, I have that one. So
Okay,
we'll do it
Yeah.
next week. That's fine. And then I thought I saw a hand up from Murali. Was it Murali? Had your hand up a while back and I didn't get to it. Yeah.
That was a mistake. I think I must have
Okay,
clicked on
that was okay. All right, that was a trailing hand then. Okay. Okay, and then so we got Andy, we've got our PRs, got Reshma's question answered. Okay, so I think we have a lot going on for this next week then. And Prince, thanks for the super huge explanation of this PR 341. This is awesome. So open it up for Q&A from anyone else then. Okay. And
just a quick question.
Sure. Yeah.
Do we have any update on the? I don't know what's the current status is from as far as our investigation into the DPDK P4 DPDK backend. So if we know
you
it,
mean
then we can probably share.
Andy's project?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he gave a overview earlier, and so he's still been working on it, and he ran into a small compiler bug. Is that right, Andy? And he's checking it out.
Yeah, and actually during the meeting, thanks, Chris, I went back and it apparently the P4 DPDK compiler is very sensitive to compiler command line options right now, and some of them give compiler bugs, some don't. So I found I got the recipe again, so I'll probably make progress before the end of the week.
Oh, great. Yeah, thanks a lot, Andy. I mean, sorry I missed it earlier. So
yeah,
that's one of the first things we covered. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, I've published public instructions which I could send to this. I can put somewhere, I guess, on just loading whatever P4 program you want on a DPD on the open source IPDK project, which includes the DPDK software switch as a part of it. And I've just been, I'm all but to the point of just compiling the DPDK P4 code and loading it onto that software switch.
That's great. Yeah, thank you.
And they'll be finding the bugs.
So Andy's kind of breaking ground and getting a recipe that can be done by hand, and then I'll try to turn that into an automation workflow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because GitHub Actions still look like magic to me.
No, GitHub Actions are for lazy people. You just have to spend a little time, and then you can be lazy afterwards.
Yeah, it's just that as a programmer, I've heard that for 30 years, and I've
that's what they use to lure you in.
Yes.
And then
there's so many ways to be lazy. It takes a lot of work to be lazy.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm hoping you guys can understand my notes when I'm taking them and sending them out. So if you have any feedback for me, let me know. And so Gerald, I see you joined. We had a new person, new attendee from Cisco. Sudhir came from Cisco today, so I want to say welcome to Sudhir. And
Oh, great.
this is the rest of the gang that tends to join this call. And that's really all the content I have for today, guys, unless you have Q&A or something else. And I'm supposed to wait 7 seconds here. So this is really hard for me, Andy.
That's curiously about the length of time it takes a fuse to burn. Not a firecracker or something.
In your brain.
Yes.
So I take it there's no questions because 7 seconds went by.
7 seconds went by. Okay, so it's 11 o'clock. It looks like we're on time for this week. And Prince, thank you for the huge coverage of the inbound here in 341. Appreciate it. And we'll cover the BMV2 stuff next week if we can. And I'll stop the recording unless anyone has anything else.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.